Good evening, Blues. Everton v Fulham. It's your live preview with myself and Mabbsy. How are you, Mabbsy?
Yeah, all good yourself?
Yeah, good, thanks. Been a long day here, but quite nice weather down south, and well, can't really complain. We don't
Yeah,
get
it's not been too bad in
many,
Liverpool either, so.
many bad days. Obviously, Everton slightly less stress with the fact that we've gone 4 games unbeaten.
Mad,
Um,
innit?
so yeah, it's kind of turned around, but you could say that maybe we should have got a lot more than we did off some of the other games, and maybe it's starting to kind of balance out a little bit. Straight on to team news. Mabsy, Branthwaite's back. How big is that?
Yay. It's absolutely massive. Obviously, he missed the game against Ipswich, which again was a resounding no 2-0. It wasn't resounding, sorry, the second half was awful, but 2-0 all the same. But yeah, absolutely can't wait to see him back. Be great from a fancy football team, not going to lie.
Did you swap
But
him
yeah,
out?
what?
Have you
Who
swapped
was
him out?
swapping? No, I
Well,
didn't. I kept him in, so
well,
to
actually,
hopefully get
speaking
some
of
game points.
speaking of swapping about, Branthwaite. I mean, how can you drop Keane when he's got?
Yeah, you know what, though? Um, that's what I've been mulling over, and this is going to sound controversial as anything, and I'm saying it in a jokey way, but not kind of. Would you not drop Keane and listen to me? Put him up top and just drop DCL. It's a
Well,
jokey thing, but you know,
we'll
come
come
on.
on to DCL, but Mabsy's just dropped out. He couldn't find his laptop, so he's on his phone at the moment. But very controversial. Good evening, everyone who's kind of joining us. Mr. Blue Skies, hi, Ozzy, Chris, off the team as well. Not been so good today, so I hope you feel better. But yeah, there's obviously Mabsy's been drinking something funny this evening, but he wants Keane up top and Calvert-Lewin out, and I think the point is that hi, Mabsy.
Hi, I'm back. I'm back. I don't know what happened there. Sorry, just the password on my phone.
My thoughts were you can't really drop Keane.
Sorry, I'm
What?
just going to reconnect my mic. My headset is for
Sure.
some reason it's disconnected. Bear with me a sec.
That's fine. So basically, I don't feel that you can drop Keane. I know that we, in previous seasons, this channel and various other channels have been moaning about Keane and using him almost as a scapegoat for many Everton performance or weakness at the back. But I personally don't think you can drop a player with a worldly goal like that. But also, we've kept 2 clean sheets as well. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is we've kept clean sheets against Newcastle and against Ipswich, and Keane was a feature in the lineup, and he scored a cracking goal. You can't drop the lad, can you?
No, you really can't. But we need to figure a way to get Branthwaite in. He needs to come back, doesn't he, at some point? So we do need to try and get him back into the squad. And yeah, okay. So Michael Keane's been okay for us recently, and yeah, but there is a mistake in Michael Keane. He does have a mistake in him, and that's the conundrum. And I don't fancy Dyche having that decision to make.
There's a mistake in many a player, and maybe
True.
Maybe the strikers have made one too many mistakes as well in past games. And you mentioned about sticking Keane up top. I know that he's had that background as a striker. I don't think you can really do that. It would insult Beto, surely.
Of course, it wouldn't. And it was a very tongue-in-cheek comment. I think everyone appreciates that. But the issue is, I was driving with my mate back from Ipswich, Sean, and you know when they were Everton do these like pre-season, like these videos of the changing rooms, and they ask the players a question. You've got to think to yourself when the players are asking who's the best finisher at the club, and they say Michael Keane. That's when you actually do start to have issues that your defender is better is better. Your players are saying your defender instead of your striker, your main striker. That's the issues that we do have.
Yeah, well, if you've got a solution, there's some comments coming through for Michael Keane. We will maybe Everton haven't found his best position, but there is that option of playing three at the back. You surely can't change a side that's won. Yes, the second half was a bit dire, wasn't it, against it?
Yeah. I mean, as I say, it was a very poor Ipswich. Not going to lie, but we did. We ground out that second half. We did. At the end of the day, we were on top for a lot of it, but we did grind out. So
it could have been so much different with the penalty decision that went towards us, and then obviously,
absolutely. The ref goes to the screen. You think, well, you all know the score. Or actually, it is going to be overturned. But then again, you look at the City game and it doesn't get overturned. So you're like, yeah, it wasn't. I still don't think it was a penalty anyway. But yeah, it was good that finally we've got a decision that goes for us. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, it changes the game. That penalty is a penalty and it scores.
Yeah, I think that it's just about results at this point in the season, and we've had to turn around the situation. Fulham's still without Joachim Anderson, and they've got players out as well. Do you think it matters about Garner being out for Everton? Done well filling in at right back, and his passing's been decent. I mean, I mean, it's quite clear Patterson's training and probably going to be available. Does he come in for you? Where do you go with this? Or do you push Tarkowski to the right back? What do you do?
Dyche has got to go with Patterson. He's got to put his differences aside, whatever there is. And I think you have to, he has to give him a chance. He's for whatever reason, whatever's gone on, you've got to put it behind him, and he's got to get Patterson on. I don't think Tarks can do that. I think obviously Patterson's more than capable of doing it, so why not?
Yeah, it's just the fact that he's just been come back from injury, and there's others in the same mold. So it sounds like Bro just starting training, and there are other players coming back to fitness, which is good. Obviously, Tim is out. Lindstrom back. How big a factor do you think that is?
Yeah, I think it was a surprise that he wasn't in the squad, but I think it was had been a bug going around, so that's why he wasn't there. So yeah, welcome. That'd be welcome return for us. I think he'll start on the bench personally, but I don't think he'll start. But I think he'll be on the bench. So it's good to have options, though.
Yeah, absolutely. The bookies have Martin Sheriff as favourite to score first, and then Godo and Muniz for Fulham. Calvert-Lewin's 13-2, and obviously Beto is on, probably most likely can start from the bench. He's 17-2. 10-1 is a no-goal scoring 0-0, which you wouldn't rule out, would you? But hopefully Everton can do the business on Saturday. It's a 5:30 kickoff, by the way. And I believe it's live on Sky TV.
Yeah, it will be. It's 5:30. Yeah.
So going to this game, obviously we spoke briefly about Ipswich, but form does play quite a big factor, and it's just less stress, isn't it? I mean, Dyche was speaking in his press conference about how he's got to manage the situation, but it's been really, really hard going for him. How well has he done?
Hard going for him, hard going for us. I think a lot about football is confidence, and confidence breeds confidence. So, coming back on a forerunner, was slowly creeping up that table, getting some distance between the others. None of them won. I think there's 3 or 4 that haven't won a game yet. So yeah. So the question about Dyche, wasn't it? Yeah. You know what? it's so infuriating with Dyche is that we seem to go on these long runs of losing, and then we go on these long runs of winning, and we need more consistency from him. I think. Say, is it hard for him?
Do you think he deliberately creates a situation for himself? He kind of likes to get himself out of trouble, doesn't he? Wherever he goes, whatever he does. I'm sure he won't be doing it deliberately, but he seems to.
No, he seems to be that. Yeah, it sometimes it feels like it's deliberate, but obviously it isn't. So you'd hope. It's a tough one with Dyche. It's an infuriating one because when we go on these wins and we start to play, decent. Again, we have had a load of injuries, so again, I'm not gonna, just not. But yeah, he's an infuriating manager because you can see sometimes, and there's lack of the lack of options and the lack of subs.
Other teams have injuries, and so it's not just us.
But other teams have more depth, Steve. We don't, and again, I think that's hard for him. I do. We've got the fans. We're passionate. Absolutely, and
we are. Those first 4 games were really stressful. I'm relaxed because we've got to the stage where if we lost a game, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But after the 4 games, it was so much pressure on everyone, the whole club, because this is the final season at Goodison, and it means so much to go into the new stadium in the top flight, and from a revenue point of view, it would just be a disaster. Anyway, going into this match, Everton have played Fulham 25 times with 13 wins, 5 draws, 7 to Fulham. The form kind of often really doesn't play an awful lot of a factor, but obviously you do point to the fact that there was a 0-0 and a 1-1, so statistics are starting to point towards a draw. How important is it that Everton get all 3 points on Saturday?
It's very important. We need to pick up as many points as possible. Have you seen our running in December?
Well, no, but there's probably about 7 or 8. I haven't looked as far at the end as my nose, actually.
I think it's the shite, Man City. I think we've got Arsenal in there. I think we've got Chelsea as well. Okay. So you need to be starting picking up points like quick, sharp, because I'm no doubt we will pick up points in December, but we need to be starting getting some daylight now for what's going to happen in December. It ain't going to be a great Christmas, put it that way.
Yeah, it does look so. Well, it looks tough. There's lots of comments coming in. Do keep them coming in. December's still a way away. There's plenty of games between now and then, but I do take your point that you can't really isolate matches because sometimes you don't expect to get anything. Like Newcastle, didn't think we were going to get anything from that. No. Ipswich, you would like to try and think that we were going to take all 3 points, but you probably would have said even a draw would have been okay.
Well, the way that Ipswich were banging them in beforehand, you know what I mean? They're not afraid in front of goal. They've just been. I think they've been unfortunate in the games that they have played. But obviously, again, it's confidence issue, isn't it? Again, with them, and we were lucky to take the 3 points, and there's no doubt about that. I mean, 2 worldy, 2 amazing goals, no doubt. I'm not taking that away from them, but yeah, I think it was a very poor Ipswich side, and I don't think much of them staying in the league, to be honest.
No, this is the thing, is that there are at least three worse sides than Everton, and as poor as we've been at times, and as lack of clinical finishing we've had, and defensive mistakes, especially from set pieces, there's still teams that are worse than us, which is a saving grace.
It is. How many times can we say this about going down? We say this every year now, and we're in this position where we need to start pushing up, and hopefully with the Frederick deal going through, that happens, and we can start seeing some daylight, just turning the club around, and Bramley Moor's on the horizon.
I mean, it's not that many more games at Goodison, let's be honest. We've probably got a couple of cup games maybe in the FA Cup, 12, 13 12, 13 games left. And then we go to the new stadium. Maybe it is the new stadium that kind of galvanizes and pushes it up. But at the same time, it could easily go the other way where teams just come in and just help themselves because Everton haven't quite settled in. And
yeah, not got that home advantage because it's a new stadium to us as well as them, really, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm sure the atmosphere will be incredible and Everton fans will do everything they can to kind of.
Of course, it will take a while for the pace to bed down, and it's not going to. We're not on. I hope we get a few test matches, done.
What, cricket?
You know what I mean? Test events.
Yeah, there will be. Maybe get some concerts or stuff. But it could take a season or two. I think it did with other clubs. I mean, I remember when the Emirates was built. It was a big move going from somewhere like Highbury, where it was just completely different in terms of an atmosphere, to like a big stadium like that. Obviously, West Ham as well. They had that issue in the Olympic Stadium, going towards a lot further away from the pitch. So there's all these
exactly. I was just going to say that, we're bang on the pitch thanks to Dan Meese's design.
That's what you want. But also, we've not got Mo Farah running around the outside, so that kind of saves it. Going, just picking up your point with Calvert-Lewin, you obviously feel frustrated from your comments. He was quite vocal this week. Did an article that's in the Everton program. They're doing some special edition programs this year where they've got like heritage photos on the cover. And I think if you get them all, it lines up a picture of Goodison if you lined up all the programs. But anyway, Calvert-Lewin came out. He said that, he's been at the club for 8 years. And he was a boy when he joined, and now he's a man. He's got a child. He's getting married, and he feels on top form. He feels fitter than ever. But your comments would be very much at odds from that opinion. Would you just take Calvert-Lewin out the lineup? Is that your thoughts right now?
Well, at the end of the day, let's be brutally honest with the guy. He's been here for 8 years. That's fine. So he's had several injuries, well-documented injuries while he's been here. He wants to leave at the end of the season. He's no bones about that. He's not going to sign a new contract. At the end of last season, he came out with a bullshit statement, blah, I'm fucking in this for the long haul, blah, 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 blah. And I just got he just he's got no ability on the pitch. There's no desire. So why are we wasting time? We're pissed off better. He wants to leave because he's not getting any game time. Understandably, he wants to leave, and I don't blame him. At the end of the day, he was promised more game time. It's not been happening. Fair enough. At the end of the day, give him a go. Let's see what he can do. At least if he's in the shop window, he's going to fight for it. And then, it may turn out that you actually give him a run. At the end of the day, DCL is not on form. Not on form at all. And we'll run out. You know what I mean? I don't trust him.
There's been a lot. I mean, there were a number of chances missed in that game at Ipswich, but on both sides. But particularly that last one really frustrated me from Calvert-Lewin, because if that had been in any other part of the game, that would have just been criticised. Should have gone in the back of the net. Look, chances they miss. Calvert-Lewin, in case you missed the interview, said he's a perfectionist and wants to go and score every time. Well, and he's maybe
doesn't seem like it. It doesn't seem like it.
Expectations on himself. Well, he's played for the majority of his years with Everton as a single striker, initially wide right and then kind of pushed into the middle with very little support. He performed best for me with Richarlison when he had a bit more support, maybe. And it frustrates me that we never give two up top a go, but it's working now with our little magic gem number 10 in there, and I think with Ndai, and he's got to be the signing of the signing of the season for me. Real class act, and you've got to accommodate McNeil, so maybe it's kind of, and then he likes to have the balance with Harrison now, so it's kind of a done deal really. You're just playing Calvert-Lewin, but how many games does he go? Is it just a question of As long as we pick up points and win games, it doesn't matter. Or do you think Dyche will actually make a change?
It's got. Do you want what my head says or what my heart says?
What your head says?
What my head says, no, he won't, because he's a stubborn prick, and he'll just keep on going with the same system, and he won't sub anyone. Or what my heart wants is for him to be dropped and dropped a few games, and kind of just, well, this is what you get for not performing.
Danny says we've got no one else to put up there though. Haven't we got Beto?
Watch better one. Give him a go. Give him a chance.
And then you should.
What about Brazier?
Yeah. He's not ready yet, but he's
not ready yet, but he's going to be soon, isn't he? But
he will start training, so that is a viable option. I mean, he's got to play a few games. He's got to kind of get some games under his belt. Yeah. We don't know to what extent. I would expect Broger's kind of maybe a January thing where we kind of look to bed him in, possibly if we get a good cup draw in that game, or I don't know. It's just speculation, but it sounds like he's edging towards some sort of fitness.
At least we're not paying for him until he actually plays, which is actually remarkable considering Everton's fucking deal, how good we are making deals.
Or the theory of just not playing Calvert there and just playing a false nine sort of situation. Dye playing maybe up there. I think he played that position right up top in his former club, and we've got plenty of kind of attacking midfielders now. We just need to make sure that they don't get injured. Is Broger on loan? Can you answer that one, Mabbsy?
Yes, he is on loan. So he's on loan for the year, but we're not paying his wages because he was currently injured when we signed him. So Chelsea is still paying his full wages until he's fit and plays for Everton. So, and then we will start paying his wages. So I think it's quite a good deal.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's kind of a silly question, really, because almost everyone that we bring in is on loan. But you have to assume that that's just the way it is with Everton's history and kind of bank balance in the making. Just to share this, this was the match. It was a very long time ago, actually. August 2023. So this is the last time we played Fulham at home. Mm-hmm. And we lost 1-0. Massive XG difference, as it always is with Everton. Very little possession compared to Fulham, 60-40. 9 shots on target. Do you remember this game? It was very, very frustrating to watch because we kind of battered them and then we lost.
Yeah, with some way in it. Yeah, it is. It's Everton all over, isn't it? I don't go for this XG. I think I say it on every time we mention it. I think it's a load of bollocks. I think it's just another stick to beat us with. Yeah. So I don't agree with XG. I don't get it.
But they didn't use it for all these years. I mean, it's just another statistic. But I suppose it's trying to show, how lightly it is, or why have we been missing? But it's also kind of an indication of how clinical you are, because you can dominate a game and then not win, and then you're wondering why. So I suppose XG does that. But 19 shots, it wasn't a hockey game; it was a game of football. Yeah. But yeah, Everton didn't come out on the great side, and walking out of Goodison that day was no fun. So hopefully Everton will do much, much better. Mabbsy, before we wrap up the preview, let's do what we normally do and kind of do some score predictions. If anyone has any, then your time is now. So Mabbsy, I'm going to hand over to you.
I'm going to go with a 2-0 win.
2-0, and are you going to even put up?
And die first goal.
That sounds familiar.
I am in love. I can't deny. Our number 10 is Illiman and I. From Senegal to Bramley Moor. He's fucking magic. He's the one that we adore. Sorry.
No, I think we'll get the win as well. I do think we'll get the win. It's very rarely the same thing though. I think it's going to be tight. I think 1-0 this time. We'll see. It could be Michael Keane again. You just wouldn't rule that out, would you?
No, you really wouldn't. Imagine,
the results are coming in, probably based on what we've said today. It'll be Calvert-Lewin. She say it doesn't look like he's going to sign a contract, but I mean, he's not going to play in a newer stadium than the one he's in, and he's probably overachieving right now in the number of games he's playing consecutively with less
No results.
kind of no results. As long as the team win, I can't complain that much. But it's when we don't win that the questions get asked, and you'll hear win, lose or draw from our team post-match on Saturday. It'll be around 7:30 p.m. Might be slightly later because Jan is going to be doing that game with Chad, and I think that it's going to be a little bit later because obviously coming out of Goodison and then getting
the signal and stuff like
getting
that.
a signal is awful. I hope that the new ground they sort it out, Everton. Sort it out. I mean, you can get Wi-Fi at Wembley.
Well, it's apparently there is going to be Wi-Fi in there, but it's not talk about that.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thanks for your company this evening. Everton playing Fulham. It's the Sky. It's 5:30 kickoff. We'll enjoy the match, and we hope Everton get the result that we are all looking for and keep moving up the table. From me, from Mabbsy, from the team at Follow Everton. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell your friends, the postman, the cat, your uncle, and your cousins. And we'll see you back after the whistle. Oh, maybe even before the kickoff with the team news. And then straight after the whistle with Jan and with Chad to dissect Everton's performance and potentially the last time we have Fulham play at Goodison unless we draw them in the cup. So from me, from Mabbsy, up the Toffees.
Oh, the fucking Toffees.